they might be yeah. I
Right.
think they might not probably got start off or something. Okay, Kim, hi, how are you?
Hi, good.
Wonderful. Right. So I like to start off with, and then after that, I think the rest can ask questions, because I think what's important is the motivation behind you writing the story. Right? Okay. So it's only up from here. We had discussions, I think, during the workshop itself when you're speaking about your story. So maybe you like to sort of like speak about it. First, the motivation of the book, and then after my question, the rest will follow. Okay. All right. So tell them about the motivation for this story.
The motivation behind it, the reason why I wrote it, I wanted to uh, write in the dystopian category of books, because I saw a lot of, I was watching a lot of dystopian films and reading a lot of dystopian books, and I wanted to write a story that took place in a dystopian Philippines. So my goal with it was to showcase a world of what it would look like in the Philippines if that kind of story took place in our country.
Um, any questions? Come on, follow up questions. Guys, okay. Uh, okay. I don't want to push too much here. I think as future filmmakers or creative people, you must learn to ask questions, because I think after reading it, all of you might have some questions, that burning questions. I hope why this. What about the dystopian world? I mean, start asking your questions, so at least you have some idea about how to, because setting in a film is very important. So we're going to set it and stuff like that. Okay. All right. So I'll leave it to you.
I have a follow-up question since Catherine mentioned setting. Kim, if do you have a movie in mind that will look similar to your book?
I think the movie that is like my story. I kind of got inspired by it as well, but it's Jojo Rabbit. It's a story about World War II. It's about a young boy who is brainwashed by the Hitler Youth during Nazi Germany, and he's taught a lot about misinformation about the Jews, and it kind of forms his mindset of hatred towards a certain group of people. But then he starts to think for himself and starts to break away from that brainwashed mindset. And towards the end, the war uh, comes to a close, and there's devastation around him, and he's feeling out of place, and um, his purpose is removed because uh, what he has known for all throughout his life has been a lie. And he learns that Jews are like humans, like himself, and he should be treating them with respect and kindness, and not with hatred that he had been taught to treat them with throughout childhood.
Miss Catherine, Miss Rafi, if I may also request, perhaps the students can introduce themselves also so that the faces will
Yes,
have
yes.
names. Yeah. Maybe we can start with Team Peria. So Lance, would you like to start? Just introduce yourself, maybe tell Kimberly how old you are and what grade level you are. And then if okay, also could you tell her what made you choose her story? Thank you, Lance. And then followed by the group of Stefano.
Hello, good afternoon, Kim. My name is Lance Ocean Ruiz. I'm from 11th grade here in Meridian, and I am currently 18 years old. And so the reason why we as a team chose your story is because we saw the summary of it, and we were really intrigued by the dystopian setting in the Philippines. We were interested in how would that go down in, especially in some place in Asia that isn't really explored. So we were thinking, if we make a film about this, it would really open our country to a different genre. So yeah, that's basically the reason why. Thank you.
Could you call on the next person, Lance? Thank you. The next person
Sige
will
si Justin na lang.
Uh, hi, I'm Justin Luis Tupas. I'm also from the 11th grade. I'm 17 years old, and Lance already mentioned it, but the dystopian plot of the story really intrigued me. Like uh, even though the story mainly focuses on the what do you call this, the relationship between the uh the male lead and the female lead, I I find I find the dystopian setting really interesting, and that contributed to my choice for your story. Do I call on the next member po?
yes, please.
Si Ray na lang po.
Hello, my name is Ray. I am 17 years old and I am in the 11th grade as well. And the reason why I chose this story is because upon reading on the story, I was instantly hooked from the summary, and I really had I was really interested in the world building, and I knew that the world building would be very good when it comes to the cinematics. And yeah, that's about it. And I'll call on Amuelo.
Hi Kimberly, my name's Amuelo from 11 Unis. The reason as to why we chose your story was because actually me personally I really like love the book, like from cover to its contents. I really enjoyed it all throughout. Yeah. See Ashley po next.
Hi, I am Ashley. I am also in grade 11 and 17 years old. So, just to kind of further add to what my teammates have said, I guess what really attracted me to your book was your writing. It was really beautiful. So, that's one of the things.
Thank you, Ashley. Let's have Stefano.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Stefano Tan, currently in the ninth grade, 14, turning 15 this year. The reason why I picked this story is because it often had something comparable to today's modern society, which is brainwashing. Oftentimes, people are mostly brainwashed into doing certain things that they aren't really, let's say, favorable to. But since most of society sets it as right, how would you know if it's wrong? Like that's often the definition of brainwashed. So I feel like we could easily make a film pointing out one common problem in today's modern society that we could also compare to the book at the same time, since it has the topic of that, yeah, brainwashing. That's about it. Thank you. Next, Jaire.
Hi, my name is Jara. I'm grade 8. I'm turning 14. Sorry, turning 15 this year. The reason why I picked this story is because it was pretty interesting at first. Like, when I saw that there were two main characters who were facing this world wherein they were so unsure and what they were like about to face, and thinking that there was an old world called the Philippines. I was like super surprised. It was like a plot twist. So yeah, that's why I liked it. Calling on Leo.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Leo Asan Miguel the third. I'm in the ninth grade as well, turning 16 next year, but I'm 15 now. What this book, it really at first it hooked onto my attention because it seemed from what I haven't read a lot of dystopian books or like any dystopian type genre, so it really hooked me into the story, and And I was very intrigued by it because how was there, I don't know, how was there no sun in the Philippines? Why did all of this happen, etc. So I think that's a really defining factor as to why I chose the book. Calling on Irene next.
Hello, I'm Irene Ong from grade 8. I am 14 this year.
Justin, do you have a follow-up?
Yes, follow up. So, if you were to name like examples that the new government would be similar to in like fiction or maybe even real life, what would those examples be?
I think my example would be there's this animated series on YouTube. It's called Autodale. And in that series, it's controlled by robots. And the children are taught at a young age that their goal is to be quote unquote pretty and not ugly. So they're raised in a society that teaches them that uh, there's only one acceptable form or look or appearance that children or that people have in that society, that those who are outside of that are outcasted and rejected by society. So they have to drive into the children's minds that uh, that is their goal. They're in an endless cycle of uh, serving as children and then growing up to be parents of children of their own and to teach the same things over and over again. And they get to only live a life of, uh, it's basically they get to live the same lives. They don't have different opportunities. They don't have uh, different goals. They have the same mindset. So it shows how controlling the robots are in that series, uh, and how they want to tame society by this idea of uh, being all the same.
Justin, you're good already. No more follow-up question.
Uh, I okay. Uh, where is it? Wait. Okay. So, one element in the story is like there's snow in the Philippines, and so like why is that? Why snow? And siguro to attach to that, uh, is there a narrative reason for snowing instead of like any other natural or artificial phenomena?
I was really interested in snow as part of the setting because uh, there's in literature it's a form of um, being muffled, being uh, contained, being lonely. There's something about it that covers everything, and everywhere you look, it's just white. It's just the same color, the same surroundings. So it's really isolating, and the coldness of it, it's numbing as well. So uh, I wanted it to be kind of like an external reflection of how the main character was feeling. She was feeling out of place. She was feeling that uh, that everything is hopeless, and there's this muffledness that I explored in the story that uh, um, like how the snow covers the dead bodies of children and of their protectors, their mentors. I wanted it to show how isolating it feels. And it's interesting how snow is also used in that form in writing when it comes to showcasing how muffled uh, a character can feel, and how it can serve as a way of showing their reflection in their surroundings.
I think Justin asked that question because it's hard to show snow cinematically. Am I correct, Justin?
Sure, that's one part of it. Also, I was interested because if if we're talking snow, it leads to a lot of like other conclusions that could be resulted. For example, like uh if snow, then what happened exactly to the Philippines at the did it like was it a result of like nuclear fallout? Was it a result of like some dramatic shift in the global climate? How like uh although it's primarily due to literary reasons, did you think of like anything that could explain the emergence of snow in the Philippines naturally?
Um, some people also ask me that question, and there's there's only one reason. I think it's global warming, or there's intense shift in the Earth's atmosphere that causes there to have snow in the Philippines. So that's that.
Other questions? Thank you, Justin. Maybe we can also ask Kimberly to introduce herself to us. We haven't really asked her. How old are you, Kimberly, and in what school do you study? From what school are you?
Hi, I'm Kimberly, and I'm 15 years old, turning 16 in May. And I'm in grade 10, and I study at St. Stephen's High School.
Right, thank you, Kimberly. Next question, please.
I think Stefano is raising his hand.
Hello, hello. Is my mic working?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any particular scenes or moments from the book that you feel would be crucial to be added in the film adaptation?
I think the certain scenes that uh would most likely need to be included would be uh more of the backstory part, the exposition part, where uh mostly the beginning part, because I think it's necessary for the audience to know the type of society they were living before, uh, like the war came or the snow came. Maybe that period of where like the sun was still shining, or where there was hope for a future. Maybe that part.
Second question, are there any particular themes or messages that you would want to be ensured communicated effectively in the film adaptation?
I think some things that are crucial, I think, are the parts about how uh, the hope for the future is put on the children's shoulders a lot. How the youth is a form of hope for a society, and how maybe those expectations are a bit too much, or a bit too overwhelming for young people to keep alive for the next generation. Maybe how the education system, how um, it never really changes anything, or there are good parts about the education system, but there are also flaws that um, are kind of, they isolate the minds of the youth. They kind of numb the minds of the youth in a never-ending cycle of um, learning information and then repeating it on a test or something, and how there's certain ways we can measure the knowledge and the intelligence of someone, but um, there are other ways that uh, their potential can also be proven. Um, Maybe those themes.
Okay, follow-up question dun sa kanina. How would you visualize the style of the film? Are there any like particular directors or films that have like a similar aesthetic to the let's say film?
Um, I think uh I pictured it to be um maybe a bit meandering or a bit slow or not really fast paced, more of showcasing the environment and the internal conflict. Um, the only movie I can think of because it was a big inspiration for me writing the story was Jojo Rabbit, because though it had more of a comedic tone, uh, the last scene where they're actually fighting in the war, it's all in slow motion, and it shows the environment but also the internal conflict all in one. Um, Not that I think slow motion is needed for the film necessarily, but I think uh, it captures that slow paced environment or feeling that I was picking.
How about the girls? Maybe the girls have questions for Kimberly. Jair, Shananaya, do you have any question?
Teacher, most of my questions were already answered. Thank you.
Okay. How about Ashley?
Nothing so far.
Irene? Questions for Kimberly?
Can you explain more about Hiraya and Elaine's relationship?
So basically they were friends in when they were still in school, when there was still a new world. But then after Hiraya was caught, uh, she was sent uh, away from the new world. She was outcasted, and then Elaine was the one who came back to uh, help her, even though she lost her memory. But then when they were found, he chose to betray her and say that he didn't have anything to do with her. So after the war, uh, she was left all alone, and then they came across each other again. So there's some resentment and there's some hatred and confusion, but um, they also need each other to survive as well.
Follow-up question. I'm just curious. It was mentioned that she got her memories erased. Like, how did it happen?
I didn't really go into detail about that, but it happened because she started to figure out the truth that the new world was also corrupt, and she I just maybe made a little implication that she uh, maybe she was involved in a medical procedure that erased her memories. But yeah.
Yes, Ray.
Do you have any idea on how the character should look like, and like how their outfit should be like?
Maybe they should have the the characteristics of Filipino, maybe black hair, maybe for their outfits, it's maybe what you see on the cover could be what they are wearing. Maybe not exactly like that if it can't be uh, exactly recreated, but maybe a long coat or something that they would wear if the weather in the Philippines was changed to something colder.
Go ahead, Lance.
Yeah, so follow up to that, how would you picture, let's say, the new world? Are they like totalitarian looking? I'm assuming they're since you mentioned Jojo Rabbit, I'm assuming, and based on what they've read on the new world, I'm assuming they'd be like Nazi party-esque in a sense. They'd be totalitarian in nature. So if that's something like, how would they look? Or would they have like the same like trench coat wearing sharp shoulder pads, color red type deal or anything? Or what do you think about?
What I pictured was similar to uh, the Nazis or um, yeah, totalitarian government. Maybe something like in 1984 by George Orwell, something like that.
Ha! Every one of you are nodding your heads. I think there's an idea there already. Great, that's great.
And Lance got excited upon hearing 1984. Stefana.
Is there anything you want us to avoid making an adaptation of if we were to make a film? And because like we want to avoid the story getting misinterpreted in a way if we make an adaptation or something. What is like a few points that you want us to avoid?
Um, Maybe something to avoid would uh, I can't really think of anything, but maybe um, I guess in a way, maybe the time period of when it takes place. Maybe uh, because in my mind it doesn't take place during the colonization period of the Spaniards. It takes place more on in the future. So maybe or it could also be present day as well to reflect present issues. So maybe um, maybe the time period, clarity on the time period should be emphasized in.
So just the time period and not like the actual characters themselves or paano ba?
Maybe they shouldn't maybe if you were to show the backstory, they should appear or they should act younger or more naive, and maybe when we see them in the present time, they should act more maybe mature, or maybe they've come to terms with their situation.
I think that's about it. Thank you.
How about Leo? Do you have questions? No, no more. I think it's going to be very exciting. Oh, Ashley has a question. Go ahead, Ashley.
If I'm not mistaken, the main story is about the relationship between Elaine and Uriah. I just need kind of a confirmation on when the main conflict and climax happened?
Okay, so the conflict happens when it basically starts from the beginning and the climax is when they meet each other. So there's a big emphasis on the shock that Hiraya feels when she learns that he's still alive, but also that she will need to rely on him for their survival because they have no one else to turn to because the new world is gone at that point. And everywhere else there's snow, so uh, there's no one else that they could possibly turn to. So maybe that would be where the climax starts, where they meet each other face to face.
Go, Stefano.
Since we already have like the basic character analysis on our point of view, what is the character analysis for the main characters in the author's point of view?
So I chose the name Hiraya for the main character because Hiraya means to dream or something about hope. So her name really in choosing her name I really wanted to uh, show that she's filled with hope. And her name means hope. So it's kind of juxtaposing in her situation where there's no hope. But maybe it also shows that there's a possibility for hope to still come in their situation. And I picture uh, Hiraya and Elaine to have a bit of maybe familiarity with each other because they used to be friends. And there's also tension between them because of what happened when he betrayed her. So there's also a tightness in the way they interact with each other, maybe hesitation or confusion or the fear of getting involved with each other again. But also, um, since everything that happened, they also must learn to trust each other again. Uh, there's also in her name, there's also that question if there's hope for their relationship, for their friendship, since they're in a hopeless situation. Maybe uh, these two characters can uh, provide each other comfort and um, maybe a way for them to escape the harsh reality surrounding them.
Follow-up question. Um, in the certain emotions in certain scenes, could we say that she had some sort of grudge over what happened or what?
Yes, I would call it, yeah, there's a grudge.
Follow up again. What is like the super objective and the objective of the story? Meaning, what is like the main objective of the story, and what are like the side objectives? Na parang it leads up to the super objective.
Sorry, do you mean the what the goal is?
I guess you could say that in a way that it has the side goals which would lead to the super goal or something.
Um, Maybe it's an exploration on um how there's a lot of hope placed on the youth, but what would happen if they weren't able to live up to that hope, or what would be considered as a failure when someone that young is unable to reach their fullest potential, um, if they're considered a lost cause, if they are not able to reach their dreams or become who they want to be. an exploration on hope, and because the sun, I also use the sun as a form of symbolism when it shined through the clouds at the end. I wanted it to show that even if our situation feels hopeless, there is still hope. And also how um, they can break away from a brainwashed mindset, but also how hard it is as well, because it's the only thing that they've been taught to know and to go back to. They weren't taught anything else. That all there is to uh, teach the next generation and to have kids that can also uh, um, have their education in the new world as well. Yeah, that's it.
Last question. Did they end up having any sort of like resolution after what happened? Or wala?
I would say they have resolution. Um, I kind of had to hint at it because I was running out of time, and the I was it wasn't really the main focus, my main focus when I was writing it. I wanted to focus on when they met each other.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Miss Catherine and Miss Rafi, it's very interesting that we'll have two interpretations of the story, right? Because two groups are going to make an adaptation of it. And you know, Kimberly, we're going to invite a film scholar who will be discussing about film adaptation, what it is and what it's not. Someone who will be talking about short films as well, how to create short films. So maybe I just want to say that what's very beautiful about film adaptation is that the filmmakers have a lot of space to be creative because it's actually about interpreting the story. So Stephanos group may have a very different interpretation and version of the story compared to Lance's group. So it's very interesting.
We're both excited. I think Catherine is too.
Yeah, very exciting. Yeah, it's well, I mean, Kimberly's story opens itself up to quite a lot of interpretations, and also the tone. I think, you know, I mean, you might want to make a comedy out of it. You know, you don't know. Yeah, and also I don't know, but I'm very excited because we are taking a Kimberly story, okay, written by a teenager, right? And teenagers are going to interpret it, adapt it into a film. So, you know, it's like what the young think, yeah, and how they see it, which is, yeah, something pretty unique. Yeah.
All right. I think there are no more questions, Catherine. How about Kimberly? Maybe she has questions for the other students.
Wala naman po.
Oh, Stefano, may pahabol pa. Go ahead.
Last question. In order to more accurately, let's say, show their friendship before they like kind of split up, were they in the point of the friendship they were super close, or was it still developing pa?
I would say they were close, as in they got to know each other already, but not too much to the point of a romantic relationship, maybe just well-known acquaintances, the people that they trust so much.
So it wasn't to the point that they would actually develop a romantic relationship. So more on like, parang they just got to know each other, something ganun ba?
Yes, something like that, where they got to know each other.
Oh, okay. I think that's it. Thank you.
I think I'd like to ask a follow-up question. Building off of Stefano's question, you did mention that they're close at they did mention that they were close before. They were close, and then like they were acquaintances. So which is closer to how you want them to be portrayed, like as close friends or as just acquaintances na who would just like know each other, or more so that they're close friends na they they trust each other a lot. They used to trust each other a lot. Like they confide whatever, or yeah, just acquaintances.
I think they would be close friends, more than acquaintances, because I think they would confide, their dreams to each other, and uh, they would trust each other a lot.
Go, Stefana.
Last follow up on the question of Justin. Was it to the point that she would she would be the first person she would run through, or like would he be the first person she would go to, or like is it like some sort of close friendship, but there's someone even more closer than you, something like that?
Yeah, he would be the first person she would go to. Maybe in a way, uh, a child's relationship is to their parent, where they're close and they can tell each other, what they're feeling.
Okay, thank you.
Miss Rafi, I think that's it.
Yep. Okay. Thank you, everyone, especially, well, to everyone, to all of you. Thank you very much. Kimberly, thank you also for lending us your time. I hope everyone got more information. I hope you're all specially inspired to create the short film. And what's exciting also would be the workshop that Meridian is going to have in support for this event. I think it would be very, very um useful also for us to be able to bring justice to the works that our young authors wrote also. So
Miss Rafi,
yeah,
if really wants to join the workshops, she's welcome to go to Meridian. We'll open the
yes,
workshop for Kimberly if she wants to, have a glimpse of it.
yay. Thank you, Teacher Amy. Thank you, everyone.
I
Kimberly,
have
let's go together if in case you're shy.
I have something to say. Yeah, I think I'm seeing all of you on Saturday, is it?
On the 10th,
Yeah, at what time is it?
Friday, it's at 2:30 in the afternoon.
At 3:30, 2:30 in the afternoon. Yeah.
30, yes.
Okay. Is that all right with everybody? Is that
We'll
all?
have our session with, as mentioned during our meeting last time, we'll have our session with Miss Catherine on Friday at 2:30 in the afternoon.
Okay, I like to give you a little thing to do before I see you. Okay, I'll be talking about I wouldn't be doing film adaptations because I don't do film, but I want to look at story with all of you. It's only probably an hour session, but can you try this week before you see me to work out the character sketches of your two main characters? As in like I mean you've spoken to Kimberly, so give me a sense of what your character is going to be. Okay, so probably just a sketch of both your characters, your two main characters. We can share that during the session. because I think I'm having with all of them, right? With the other books as well. So just a discussion on that. Yeah, characters. I'll pick out one or two and then we could discuss that. Yeah, would that be good? Okay. All right. Thank you.
That's going to be exciting, Miss Catherine, because Miss Catherine is writer maker. So she's going to impart a lot of things to you.
I think we all learn, Amy. Kids learn. I learn too. Yeah. Right. Thank you.
Shall we take a group photo?
Yep, I'll take it. All right. Okay.
I think you have to move your heads higher.
Yeah.
And Emulo, sorry.
Tilt down your camera. And Amuela also.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Do you guys want one more for the wacky shot? Wait, hold on. Hold on. Oh. Saving. Save. Okay. One more wacky shot if you guys want. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. I'll see you all on Saturday.
Catherine, thank you. Friday, Catherine, Friday.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank
Let's say
you.
goodbye to Miss Rafi and Miss Catherine.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank
See you
you
soon.
po.
Take care, everyone.
Thank
Bye,
you po.
Kimberly. Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you,